This week, we party harder on the Day of the Devs, bite off more than we can chew in Pixel Noir, and close your eyes. Allison Road has gotten a publisher. This is episode 68 of the Indie Game Riot. Indie Game Riot!
Everybody, this is Josh, and we are on Indie Game Riot Podcast, episode 68.
Yes.
Cranking closer and closer to the Halloween, but we have plenty of scary games because we've got one coming up as Tech said in his little intro.
And I guess that's why Rev isn't here.
Because he's a pussy.
Yeah.
Pussy Rev, and he can't defend himself.
He's lying about actually being at work trying to make his company loads of money. No. He's just afraid of the games we're going to be talking about.
Of course.
We are talking about two scary games and one sort of dark game.
Yeah.
We also got some cool news coming up. But Josh,
yes,
we never start with you. What has your week been like?
My week has been lots of driving. As you know, my job now that my wife has a new job is basically to chauffeur her back and forth. So it's like 4 hours of driving every day for me. And it's always down like really busy highways and it's during rush hour. And yesterday, on the way back from work, we got cut off by some douchebags from New York. I'm sorry if you're from New York, anyone. And they it was one of these it was like 3 lanes on the highway.
Uh-huh.
And the right lane merges over because it's about to end. And they just forced their way in front of me, like no turn signal, no nothing. They just come right in. No room. I wasn't leaving room for anyone because you're an idiot for going that far down the lane in the first place.
Yeah, I hate people like that.
Yeah.
Fuck people like that.
So I beat the shit out of them, for like a full 8 seconds. And then I just think this is funny. It's why I'm telling the story because you expect well, he has no right to flip me off, but he does because, New York and he's in a car. So you expect him to flip me off. So he's going to do it. Through the back window like this. And, but instead of just him, I see him and 4 other hands, the entire family. It was like, dude, if you're from New York, tell me if this is a thing. Do you go to your family and I'm like, okay, let's practice our family flip off. And everyone just goes like this out the back window. I saw 3 hands, 2 adult hands, 1 teenager hand and 2 children hands just come up.
I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
Well, I flipped them off back.
Good on you. Good coordination, New York.
Yeah, really. It was all at the same time. And they weren't even looking. They were just like it was like an automatic thing.
They're like, all right, kids, get ready. We're going to cut this asshole off. He's going to honk, and we're going to give him the bird. We've trained for this.
Remember
3,
what we talked
2,
about.
1, let's do it. Good job, team. Now let's ride this guy's ass for 4 miles.
Well, luckily he was in front of me, so I rode his ass for 4 miles.
Yeah.
But not because not by choice. It was bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
That's really awkward too, because then when that happens, but you can't get away from the people and you're still mad, so you're staring at each other through the window.
I remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was driving for my job, and I was driving down Highway 80, which is a small little 2-lane windy road, and it was dark, and I'm driving along, and there's this car coming at me, and then right behind him is a car that's right by him, and it's like a Mercedes, and it's got his high beams on. And not only is it obviously blinding the guy that he's behind, but he's blinding the fuck out of me. So I flick my lights at him, and he doesn't even change. I flick my lights. As soon as I pass him, I just sit on my horn as I go by. That guy is an asshole. That guy is absolutely an asshole.
I hate getting blinded by highlights.
Oh man, it's so bad. And you have the people. You have all the rednecks in their big trucks who think they're so cool because they put the fucking blue beams in their car.
Jesus.
And it's not only that, but it's a fucking lifted truck.
I get mad.
That's been
I get mad not
garage.
even about the lights. The trucks for me, pickup trucks, are layers of anger for me. I get angry because it's fat and in the way. and I can't see past them. And then I get angry because I'm just sitting there like, why do you need that? And then I get angry because of the light. So at night, even if it's not their high beams, it's just that they're high off the ground and it's like right in your freaking face. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So how's your week, Tech?
I'm back at work. I took a week off because of Film Fest. Driving, making money, not really doing I don't know. This week hasn't really been very eventful. Actually, I don't think I did anything.
What a boring asshole.
No, I mean I tried a new alcohol. That's all right.
What is it? Should they
Captain
sponsor
Morgan?
us?
No, they shouldn't. I think it's okay. I don't really want to get a sponsorship from an alcohol company.
This is the message we provide.
I mean, like if it's something cool, like if it was the local brewery being like, hey, shout us out in one episode a month, and we'll give you.
We have like 3 different kinds of alcoholics here. We have like the alcoholic, we have the hipster alcoholic, and then we have the guy who would be an alcoholic if he wasn't too poor to buy alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah. So Indie Game Riot, give us money so we can be proper alcoholics. Wait. I do remember what I did.
Okay.
Last night I got really drunk and I 100% beat Jack and Daxter. 100% collected.
So do you have to be drunk? Do you have to be drunk?
No.
Wait, you beat Jack and Daxter in one night?
No. I had been slowly working up. I think it's like 3 total sessions that I played it. It's funny though because I got to the last part. I got to the final boss and I didn't fight it yet because I'm like, all right, cool. I think I have everything. I collected every single precursor orb and every single power cell, and I looked just to make sure because I thought my power cell number was kind of low. I'm like, I feel like I'm missing like 7 power cells, and I look and I'm missing like 1 here and like 5 or 6 precursor orbs from like the first 2 levels. So I get the 2 precursor orbs and I'm like, I feel like I'm still missing power cells. So I look at my phone, all the different levels, and Jesse's like reading off all the levels on the game. And I'm like, this one, yeah, this one, yeah, this one, yeah. Misty Island? No, that one's not on there. I forgot to go to one of the starting levels.
So you had to go
of
all
the
the way
game.
back.
So I had to do the entire, well, I mean, there's fast travel, but I had to do the entire level. And for like 20 minutes, I was like, there are 4 precursor orbs on this island, and I don't know where they are, and I've been everywhere, and I have no idea where they could be. And then I found them, and I went to the final boss, and I beat it.
Your drunken premonition,
Yeah, I was.
Speaking of games like that, Ratchet and Clank, the movie's coming out soon.
I'm really excited. You know what's really crazy is the developers of Ratchet and Clank and the developers of Jack and Daxter both shared an office when Ratchet and Clank were building, or the guys behind Ratchet and Clank were building Spyro, and Naughty Dog were building Crash Bandicoot. So there are like crossovers and cool stuff because those 2 dev teams were friends, and those are seriously some of my favorite games on the PS2.
Crash Bandicoot I have a lot of memories with. Spyro not so much because I got pissed off.
Yeah.
It raged. I rage a lot at that me. But you know what doesn't make me rage because it gives me a good feeling?
Oh, it's got to be an indie news injection.
That's
Just
right.
take the edge off.
Oh yeah.
Are you bored with the same old games?
Yeah.
Why, then give yourself an indie news injection.
Thanks, Indie Games.
All right, everybody. This week on Indie News Injection, we have a game jam to start you off. It's been a little while since we talked about game jam. It used to be for a little while that we'd have like a game jam every week to talk about.
Yeah, and now they're sort of picking back up.
Yeah, this one is actually particularly popular and has been going on for a few years. And what it is called Asylum Jam. And let me remember to put up the fancy little images there.
Yeah,
Asylum Jam. And it's a 48-hour long jam where game developers are challenged to make a horror game and explore the genre without negative mental health or medical stereotypes. So basically, interestingly enough, they put, the font and the whole thing in this whole it's they almost kind of like
it was like a blood
you.
Smeared
I wouldn't say blood because it's brown. I would say shit smeared. And so don't have mental patients smearing shit on the walls because that's one of the stereotypes of a mental patient, at least And I guess they did kind of do that like back in like way back when, but before they really understood mental disorders, and it was kind of like, if they had rockets, they would have rocketed them into the sun if they could.
Yeah, it's like, let's start cutting the brain until they stop being weird or die.
It's basically either way it works. Yeah,
the 1800s were weird.
So it's kind of cool though, because there are a lot of misconceptions and stereotypes, and mental disorders and things like that are really one of those things that people don't. It's almost taboo. They don't talk about it. They don't understand it. They when people make jokes about it, they don't really. It's like that's like the one thing a lot of people don't really get upset about when people make jokes about. Like even if you're saying like, "Oh, you're crazy, you're nuts, you're insane." I mean, even that is kind of. I mean, I'm not one to be too PC, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you think about it, even that can be disrespectful, especially if the person does have some sort of disorder. And to be honest with you, coming from a psychology background, for those of you who don't know, I went to psychology or went to school for psychology for a little while. Everyone has some sort of issue.
Yeah.
Everyone.
The human
does.
brain is crazy.
There's not one single normal person, because if you were normal, you'd be like one of those like really creepy uncanny valley like people that it'd be something out of everyone who is being weird.
That robot from Total Recall.
Yeah.
How long are you staying on the planet? 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any fruits or vegetables with you? 2 weeks.
Exactly. So I mean, everyone has something going on with them. If you went to a therapist, I'm sure you could find something. So it's pretty cool, and it's a popular game jam. So if you're a game dev and you just kind of want to take a break from your current project, or you don't have any current projects going on, try it out. And game jams, as we've seen in the past, have often given way to full blown projects that have done very, very well.
Yeah.
Actually, another thing that's in the news later on was in Ludendare, I think was Ludendare Jam game initially.
Cool.
And is now pretty damn successful.
Yeah.
So get on that, asylumjam.com.
And in case, asylumjam.com. And in case you think that it's impossible to make a scary game that doesn't have mental health problems, you might want to check out Allison Road, which is a game that we talked about fairly recently. We're talking about it again today in the news because they have stopped their Kickstarter. They are no longer pursuing crowdfunding, and that is because they were picked up by Team 17, the publisher behind Worms, which is a little weird, but now that they have this publisher and they have a lot of capital backing them,
it is weird because usually you see publishers picking up games that are kind of within the same style.
Yeah.
I mean, Devolver Digital games, you can look at a game and be like, that's
tell
Devolver Digital, So it's kind of weird that they go from Worms to Allison Road, which is like completely opposite spectrums of games. Although they are a big publisher because a lot of people love Worms. Yeah. So I'm happy that they're getting the funding that they need, because we were just talking about this, last episode?
Yeah, I think it was last episode.
I think it was. And I'm glad. And the other thing I wanted to point out, too, is that they canceled their Kickstarter campaign. Even though they were going to complete it, most likely, they canceled it anyway. Because remember we talked about before, I forget what game it was that ended up getting funded from an outside source, but they kept their Kickstarter and people got all upset, and we had this discussion. It was like, is it really that big of a deal? Rev said he didn't like it. I was like, who cares? The game's getting done. You're getting to fund a project anyway.
Yeah. If anything,
I mean, it's a good PR move at least.
Yeah, exactly. But think about the stuff that you could get on the Kickstarter.
Well, they said they did say the Allison Road Abby Abby forget the dev's name, but they did say that they're probably going to have ways for people to get
the stuff
at some point. So I mean, just keep an eye out.
Some people were like, there were 4 options for your name carved into a tree on the player's path in the game. and 4 people pledged a total of 800 pounds for that. Like, that's cool,
Yeah.
like not being able to do that. And
Lilith.
like, you can get a photo of your choice in the house subject to approval that 15 people paid for, like, and that was 250 pounds. Like, there are a lot of cool there's a lot of cool stuff that they really wanted to do.
Lilith is a game dev.
Yes.
Forgot about that.
I thought that's what you were going for.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at least the game, and maybe with this amount of funding, they'll be able to really get it done faster. Because games like this take enormous amount of time.
The graphics alone, I mean, this is a beautiful game.
Yeah.
If y'all remember PT, how good that looked, this is on the same level.
Just as good.
It's on the same level as PT. So I would imagine that they're going to need every bit of it. So I'm happy for them. I'm glad, because that means that this is closer to reality, and I want to play this game and have the shit scared out of me, literally.
Really, this almost might be good, because they were at 146,000 pounds of their 250,000 pound goal, but that's not a lot of money.
Hopefully,
and that's not really a whole lot of money to make a game this amazing.
Hopefully, the one thing I have to worry about with with Team 17 doing the publishing, I mean, obviously they're experienced and they have successful games under their belt, but this being such a different game from Worms. I'm hoping that I forgot to switch to news little image thing. There you go. Being such a different game from Worms, that I hope that they know how to get it out there properly.
Yeah. The quote that they have. Oh, promotion. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that they will. But, it's just the one word.
And Allison already has so much YouTube popularity as it is, from what I've seen, that I think they're fine. Just as long as the dev cycle doesn't take too long, because people will forget about stuff like this.
No, yeah, as long as they keep everyone up to date.
Yeah.
And I think that media will continue to like hop on every update that they release, like every PR because it's like, especially when you start using the keyword PT, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they keep comparing it to PT.
Yeah.
So and people.
To be fair, too, Team 17, we are giving them a little bit of crap for being the Worms publisher, but they are also backing Panarium and Yooka-Laylee. They're behind those 2 games too. So,
are they?
Yeah.
Well, that is a little bit closer to Worms, though, as far as just the feel.
That's true. Yeah, like stylistically, it's a little
especially
more
Yooka-Laylee.
But maybe they're reaching out and they're trying to diversify their brand. You can't blame them for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a very positive thing.
Yeah. Another thing you can look forward to if you're in the San Francisco area is Day of the Devs, which is a Double Fine and I Am 8-Bit day of games, fun, music, art, devs, food, and you. Lots of video games, including, I'm trying to find one that I know.
Abzu is
lots of games that you've probably
I would say
never heard
I would say
of.
that Abzu is one. It's the very first one that's there that
Okay.
I am extremely looking forward to. Like that is one game that is on my watch list for like the next however long it takes for it to come out. It's one that it's underwater and I mentioned to you guys once before, and I think I mentioned on the show before.
Yeah, you must have talked about it. Other than that, it's a bunch of some
Below
cool games.
is one, Gang Beasts.
Oh, Day of the Tentacle. I've heard of that.
Yeah, Day of the Tentacle. Blah, 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 blah. I'm looking through some of the.
Yeah, some of them are ones I've never heard.
Some of them I haven't heard of, but Oxenfree I've heard of, and yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. So this is November 7th from 3 to 9 p.m. It's free, all ages, at the Midway, San Francisco, California. I guess if you're from California or San Francisco, that means something. So check it out if you're interested.
I'm assuming it's Midway in San Francisco.
Probably.
Because we have had a lack of bad segues, you know what else is Midway?
This news article.
Heroes Guard is Midway because it's in beta currently. And actually, for those of you in the live chat, we do have the developer here. That his name is DoFreak83 in the chat. And this is his game. If you remember a while ago, we talked about sorcery, and we keep bringing up like comparing it to sorcery because that's the closest thing that people might recognize. It's very similar to that as far as open-ended story goes, and it being in mobile. Past that, it doesn't use the combat system that sorcery does. It uses choice and there's a card game involved and lots of really cool things. And
we got to play it. We got to play a build of it at Too Many Games this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did get to play a build of it, and they even had it was cool too because they even had a physical card game based on a card game that's in the game. Getting meta there. They had a physical card game that they were playing there too, and I kind of hope that eventually they'll have the money to maybe even put out that card game too.
That'd be really cool. I think that, like, I love physical games and the more physical games you can get out, the better. I mean, obviously finding other people to play with, that's the hard part, but I love having stuff that you can put on a shelf and look at and break out every now and then.
Yeah.
So they're looking for beta testers.
So I will put the link in the live chat for those of you. That is the link. Go sign up if you have iOS or Android. Go please beta test because he is a friend of ours that we have made at conventions. We met him at Too Many Games in person, and I'm hoping that you'll help him out.
Yeah,
get this going. And
he pulled beard hairs out.
For those of you, he pulled Tech's beard hairs out of his face, and we caught it on camera, and we're going to get that up someday.
Yeah, someday.
And for those of you listening to the recorded version, please click the link that is in the description somewhere below. He still has them in a baggie.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
I believe it.
Fantastic.
Hey, those will be worth something one day.
Keep it, pin it up on a wall. There you go. We can sell it on eBay someday. And Heroes Guard, the journal. Beta access. Go do it. Is this you or me? This is me.
It's you.
So, something that has not been in beta. I gotta get the bad segues. There you go.
Just pretend Rev's here.
There you go. So, Party Hard, if you don't remember, that is one of our games that we talked about, that we featured some episodes ago. Actually, it looks like it's a game published by Devolver Digital. It was actually by Tiny Build published. They actually have updated the game to give you 7 new levels. If you have Party Hard, make sure you go back and play it because there are 7 new levels. As long as you've already beaten the main story, you can't just go play the levels. You do have to beat the main story, and I think there's a couple new characters you can play as if you have unlocked them. So the new levels are really weird and futuristic and nothing to do with the story. You basically are just playing like the very first new level I played is like the subway level, which is the last level of the main story, but with like aliens, and it's like it seems like they redid some of the levels, but with like futuristic stuff and new traps and things like that. So go check it out, Party Hard on Steam, or you go buy it on Steam, or if you already have it, just go. And check
that's
out
like I think the biggest complaint that Rev had with this game is that it is a limited amount of levels that they have.
Well,
but
it's nice to see
that's a lot of levels.
It's nice to see that they're continuing to update it, and I didn't have a problem even with the. I guess it was a little short, but
that was like the biggest complaint that I heard from a lot of people. It's like it's a really fun game. It might need more levels. But.
By the way, if you click the Party Hard link in the chat or in the description for those of you listening to the recorded version, that does take you to the page, and there is a demo because I mentioned this is the game that I mentioned that came out of a Game Jam. And they have the original Game Jam game as a demo that you can play right in their browser. It's like already, you don't even have to load anything up. It's right there. You just play it. So go check it out for the demo. Super fun. And it's a full level. It's just based off of the original game, not with like the extra stuff that they added for the actual game. You know what we're going to talk about now?
What are we going to talk about now?
We're going to talk about things that are not full levels because they, want to make extra money. So take it away.
Exactly. So microtransactions, where are they good and when are they bad?
Always.
No, I would not say the microtransactions are always bad.
No, they're not, because we we talked about this a little bit after I got back from Indie East.
Right.
I mentioned, remember that mobile game where you're like a pig that's eating himself?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I
It's
do.
like it's a shmup.
Yeah.
I talked to that developer at Indie East and asked him, I was like, oh, you can do like microtransactions, you can charge for it. And he said that, yeah, he might actually do that because he has to make a living. And, you know, 99 cents is all good and well, but generally
sometimes
speaking,
someone might pay $5.
Unless you're selling the hell out of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You probably need to find another way to get it.
Yeah. And I guess the other thing, especially with mobile games, is that microtransactions let a larger amount of people play your game. Because if I see that a game is behind a price on a phone, I'm probably, just because of how I am, I'm probably not going to play it. But if your game is free and you have options to spend money in that game to do different things, like I played the hell out of Bitcoin Billionaire, and there's microtransactions in that game, and they weren't, super overt, and I never really needed to use them, but they were there and they weren't that bad and they were okay.
Well, are you okay with microtransactions? Because there's like the games like Zynga and
anything by King or Zynga.
But I mean, a lot of games other than those companies, a lot of companies, they use the same format where you basically are slowed down significantly.
Yeah. So any game that deliberately slows down the game so that you will pay to get the full game, I believe is dishonest. And although I think that they shouldn't do that, they still can, and that's okay. But I don't personally like that, and I don't personally support that. And I feel like a lot of other people do as well. But if it's a game where it's like, hey, you can have, like, I love skins in games. I love, different like cosmetic unlocks. I'm not big on PlanetSide 2 is technically indie now, even though they're not. But I've spent probably $100 on that game, and it's a free game that anybody can download and play. And it doesn't. None of that made me progress in the game faster. Yeah, I paid money for guns, but I could have played the game and unlocked those with in-game points. And I think having a marketplace that is balanced between in-game points and real money is also really good, as long as your real money cost isn't completely ridiculous.
Well, you're talking about guns too, and that brings to another point of pay to win.
Yeah,
which is a terrible format, no matter what, no matter what platform, no matter what game. Pay to win is
buying
always bad.
Power, buying skill, etc.
If you pay to have an advantage over players, it's not fair. It's not.
Exactly.
People can't
paying to have
afford
an advantage is bad, but paying to have a difference, in my opinion, is okay.
I think microtransactions are okay for aesthetic. People want to pay to look different. Like Dufreak in the chat was saying, League of Legends does it because they just make you pay for skins.
Yeah.
And if it's just to look different, whatever. I mean,
right.
If someone wants to, I personally think that's stupid to pay for to look different in game. I'm more about the game.
Well,
that's
but
my
it's
own
an
opinion.
easy way to support a game that you like if you want to get some money.
Yeah, but some people are really into like making their characters look good, especially if you play a lot, or especially if you play a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's more of a subjective thing. Even though I think it's dumb, it's not. I'm not saying it is dumb. I think it's dumb.
Yeah. So here's what you do, and here's what you don't do, in my opinion, if you want to stay on the good side of your audience. Allow for people to purchase guns or items in the game that you use if they are a different experience, but not necessarily better. Like, I'm gonna go back to PlanetSide 2. I know it's not technically indie, but I feel like it's a really good example of this. Every single gun in the game that you can buy with real money, except for a few, you can buy with points you win in the game. That being said, each gun in the game isn't inherently better than another gun. It's just it has a different play style. It'll affect, some players will like it more than others, and that's totally fine. If you have good balance in your game, there's absolutely no reason why one gun versus another gun is going to be absolutely, as long as you have balance, if you're letting anybody pay money or in-game currency for a weapon or item in the game, that's fine. With some games, like a game that recently updated, Payday 2, now you can pay money to get better guns and better upgrades and better skins, and that's not cool.
Yeah,
you're literally
that's paying
to be that's buying power in a game, and that's not cool. That's not cool at all.
It's not fair to other players. And then the other part that's messed up with that is, just morally speaking, is that there are people with addictive personalities.
Yeah.
And I've read articles from people who have like gone through this and have had like legitimately had to gone to like through rehab.
Yeah.
For this because it financially like corrupt. Like they're just they spend money like they don't pay their bills. And there are people like, and it's messed up to prey on people like that. And I did Dufreak linked a subreddit called No IAP, and basically they mention in that like the very first pinned post that they have there about why they do what they do. They call them whales, and that's people who spend a massive amount of money on these games.
Yeah.
And that's who I'm talking about. Not everyone screws themselves over financially when they spend that much money. Some people just have the money, which I guess is cool. Like, I mean, I've seen like YouTubers play Hearthstone and they pay for packs, which is it's not pay to win because you can technically unlock the packs, but at the same time,
but here's the thing: paying for legendaries in Hearthstone, pay to win.
I didn't know you could do that.
Anyway,
But he like I've seen YouTubers who go in and pay for that, but they specifically use money that people give to them to open packs like on streams,
and that's for like for like entertainment.
And they really enjoy they really enjoy Hearthstone, so they again like you said they support it. But overall, people who regular people who pay that much money probably can't. You know what else you could do with that money instead of
piss it away at a bunch of ones and zeros that might not work in 2 years.
Yeah.
Unless
you're a professional player.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is too is that there's a new basketball game that's out that I'm not going to name names just because it's not indie. But it has
only one
a way
basketball
that you can.
game.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's 2K16.
Yeah, 2K16. You can buy packs of players in that. But you can either use money that you spent on the game to get the money.
All the sports games are like that now. Or you can
get, but you could also get it with in-game currency. And as much as I hate to say it, that's okay. You might have to save up a really long time.
Yeah,
and you're not gonna
you have to play a lot of games.
You do have to play a lot.
Because Madden's like that too, and then I have MLB 15 to show, and that's like that too.
And maybe that's part of the ethical. Because like there was a lot of discussion on a racing game that came out not recently but I think last year that basically said, all right, you can buy the fastest car in the game for $30.
Is that Angry Birds Go?
What?
No, because Angry Birds Go, that was another one that was like terrible. Like it was just laden with like paywalls.
And like I understand that devs have to make money, but the devs who are going to exploit you are either actually really scummy or have spent so much money advertising this game that they need to make it back.
Yeah.
And
that was the other thing I talked about. That guy at Indiecade was paywalls. Like you pay for a certain amount of levels and you have to pay again for another. And I kind of get what he was talking about. Is like you pay 99 cents for the game, right? And then you get like 25 levels, and then after that. He was only going to do it once. So you tell me if this is okay to you or not. And then after that, you pay like another couple of bucks for like 80 more levels or something, like 75, 80 more levels. And that's the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So overall, you'd be paying like $3.
So I feel like locking somebody out of a part of a game.
I feel like if you're going to do that, don't charge initially and just charge it $3 after 25 levels.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
But even still, like that's kind of. I mean, I know what you mean. That one I feel like is on the fence for me because on the one hand, you are getting 25 levels of a game. Like that's not a small amount of levels. That's a lot of time and work that somebody put into that, hopefully. But to give somebody a taste for a certain amount of money and then hiding the rest of the game behind a paywall, like that's like saying, that's like having a story game or that's like having one of these story-based chapter games where you pay, $10 for a game, you get half of it, and they're like, okay, to get the actual ending, unlock this DLC which has the real ending. Like, I feel like that's dishonest, and that's exploiting the players. But if it's like a level-based game that doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of story, or if that story concludes and those 80 extra levels are additional content that don't have anything really to do with what's going on, like directly in the levels that you already played, like that's cool. But if it's literally like the first 25 levels of the story are $1, and then if you want to play past that, it's another $2, and that's not really.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen games that do it constantly too. Like
it can be a slippery slope. And you should also change the logo on the thing.
God damn it! I keep forgetting that shit.
Sorry.
Here's new. Here, Day of the Devs. There you go. Heroes Guard. There's. Sorry, Rick. And
for those of you who are listening and not watching, we are messing with the video.
There you go. That's all the images there, because I suck at this, apparently. Yeah, well. And then the last thing is, like, I mean, really it comes down to the different points of view. You come the point of view of the consumer, and, of course they don't want to pay money just for whatever. The less money, the better for consumers. That's, I mean, you can't blame them. They want to save money. But at the same time, on the side of the dev, and talking to the dev, even though I didn't necessarily agree with that paywall thing, talking to the dev, he makes valid points. Like, I mean, it's a lot of work. He has to eat. He brought up valid points. Like, he's not trying to be greedy. He's not trying to be a dick.
He's trying to support himself,
make a living. And
exactly.
I get that too. So it really depends on your point of view.
Yeah, really. It might even just come down to the morality of the dev. It's like, you can buy half the game, or you can play half the game for free, but I'm going to need $10 after you play half that game. So, if you're listening on YouTube or anywhere else that you can comment, leave a comment down below on your thoughts about this. Why not? Let's engage the audience.
You know what else we should engage?
I don't think I'm allowed to go there. Oh, wait, no, never mind. This is the wrong segment. The populace who's speaking out and angry, Josh.
A riot is what we should engage. Starting the riot. This week on Starting the Riot, we have another. I would say this is a warm-up scary game for Halloween. It's not the most terrifying scary game, but it's a good warm-up.
Disturbing game.
It's a disturbing game in the sense of that Never-Ending Nightmares was disturbing, and this one is called Fran Bow. It's actually gotten attention a while ago because of its demo. It's had a demo out for a while, and there is a demo on its website for those who are interested. The second
thing you can click on.
It is, and I would definitely suggest go. It basically gives you the whole game up to it gives you the full chapter 1, I think. Mm-hmm. And I just linked the Fran Bow link in the live chat, and of course there will be one on the recorded version in this description area thing. But basically, you're a little girl in what appears to be like a psychiatric institute for children, and reality often gets distorted, and you switch back and forth. The distorted reality is even the initial, the real reality is pretty disturbing, but the distorted reality is really messed up. Blood and guts and body parts, and it's all children, but sometimes they're dead, just messed up monsters and things like that. It is by Kill Monday Games, and
it's got that nice hand-drawn aesthetic.
It is a very, very nice looking game. It was actually released back in August.
Okay.
So it's been a little while, but I saved it till now because we had a lot of other things to do and everything like that. But it's currently $14.99 on On Steam, it is for Windows and Mac. No Linux. Sorry, Linux.
You can get the demo for Linux.
Can you? Well,
Yeah.
maybe they couldn't afford to get the whole thing. I mean, it's not. They don't have Linux listed on Steam. I will say that.
Oh, really?
It's
Because
only-
it's listed on their Steam link. Maybe GOG has it listed for Linux as
Maybe.
well. I'm gonna check that right now, actually.
But I don't know. On Steam, it says Windows, Mac, and Steam
Yep,
Play.
it'll run on Ubuntu 14.04 and
Huh.
Mint 17,
Well,
whatever that
perfect.
means.
Perfect. You can also get the soundtrack if you would like to haunt your dreams for an additional $4.99.
Yeah. So definitely check it out. This game, like when I first saw it, I was like, okay, it's a horror game, and then I realized, like as soon as I started playing, I was like, wait, there's more to this, and that sort of like mixture between reality and fantasy. I'm just gonna call it fantasy. Why not? Is really well done in this game because you're like, okay, cool, yeah, this is real, and then you actually like go back into the real world and you're like, wait, nope, that's not real, that's not what's going on, this is what actually is going on.
And you're seeing
Are
some
these
of the
walls
messed up
act-
shit
yeah,
in
exactly.
the gameplay, by the way.
Are these walls
Ugh.
actually covered in blood? Is this person actually dead? Like, it's
By the
just-
way, that's how you solve puzzles in this game, is by switching back and forth. Oh, God. See, I keep
Yeah.
watching the gameplay.
Ugh.
For those of you listening to the audio version, you're like, what is it?
Skulls falling
Now
down
you gotta go
a
play.
flight of stairs.
Um,
Blood everywhere.
but that's how you solve puzzles. You switch back and forth between the messed up crap and the less messed up crap.
Yeah.
And, you know,
And both of them are scary and awful.
yeah. Basically, just kind of pulling from the website here, Fran Bow, to give you a better idea what the game is. Fran Bow is a creepy adventure game that tells the story of Fran, a young girl struggling with a mental disorder and an unfair destiny. She basically she witnessed the gruesome dismemberment of her parents in their home, and she runs away with her cat, Mr. Midnight, and basically while she's in the forest, she's kind of trying to like get over whatever she saw, which she will not, because that's scarring. You know, it's
Yeah.
like that's like Dexter levels of scarring.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up at the Oswald Asylum, which is an oppressive mental institution for children. And Mr. Midnight is missing by the time she gets there. She has a dream about the cat while she's there and decides to try and escape from the asylum, and wants to find him and get back home to her Aunt Grace, which is her only living relative. So that's the
That's
premise.
so sad,
I
man.
know this is a depressing game.
Like
To get you started for Halloween.
as somebody who like I was never like put in an institution, but like my mom had to go into one of these things for like a week when she was like in high school, and like all this other stuff. Like this stuff's so unsettling, and like just like it strikes a chord. And
By the
don't
way,
know,
I
man.
think when you switch realities, you're like self-administering some sort of medication, and that's how it opens up like the messed up world.
doesn't that make a lot of sense?
I thought it would be the other way around, but okay.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a twist. Maybe they Shyamalan the shit.
Maybe you'll have to play it to find out.
Yeah.
$14.99.
Apparently, there's mini games in the game as well.
Yeah, like puzzles and stuff.
Yeah. You can actually play as the cat at points,
That's cool.
and there's 50 interactive unique characters with unique personalities. So there's a lot of work that went into this game.
Yeah.
A lot of passion, and I first saw it on YouTube way back before we were doing Indie Game Riot,
Mhm.
and you could already tell that they had a picture of the game in their minds already. I mean, they had the demo out, and they knew what they wanted to do. They knew the message that they wanted to relay, and I think, again, kind of comparing this to like Neverending Nightmares, they put this in with not only a story to tell, but a message to relay. And I mean, I haven't played through the whole game, just the demo, but I would say, because remember we were talking about like the Asylum Jam and people doing stereotypes and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, I mean, other than the fact that it's an asylum, and of course you're going to see certain things in the asylum, but I haven't seen any kind of stereotype as when it comes to like mental
Yeah,
disorders.
this is handling it pretty
other
well.
than the distortion between reality and
Yeah.
her messed up world, but that's a real mental disorder, and I would imagine seeing your parents dismembered is a way to kind of start to just be messed up in general. So, and whoa, creature on the screen. Every time I look up, there's something messed up going on.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into these things,
the crazy thing is that it's so engrossing. Like you don't want to look away.
Yeah,
there's this like strange, like grotesque element where you don't want to stop.
Basically,
like look at this. Like, oh, the monster disappeared, and now there's a cat riding a unicycle.
in the and that's in the real world.
Yeah,
apparently, I think that's actually things kind of. I think that might be her cat, but I think it might be in her mind in the real world, if that makes sense. Yeah. So, that's just my guess.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't played the whole game.
Definitely check it out if you're interested.
Oh, you can also check out the music on their website too,
yep.
in case you're not sure if you want to buy the soundtrack or not. So, the soundtrack is pretty cool. I mean, it's haunting. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Any other thoughts on Fran Bow, sir?
No, I mean, like it's really like there's so many games that are coming out this year that are like a little bit too real. Like Dropsy was a little bit real, and I think this one is another one of those.
Believe it or not, I mean, this is disturbing in a way that it's like hard disturbing.
Yeah,
but I would say that Dropsy was more personally. It made me more uncomfortable personally.
Yeah, but I mean, like I guess this is just the year of
the year of
real
stabbing
games.
You in the heart.
Yeah, so bear that in mind when you decide to play this game. Definitely recommend it. Definitely check it out.
Look, and this is like one of those mini games there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's Fran Bow. And
hey, Rev, what do you have to say about this? Absolutely nothing, because I'm not here. All right, thanks, Rev.
I'm a douchebag.
You know where Rev is? I bet you he just got off work and he's with all those professional guys, and they were like, "What should we do?" And he's just like, "I've got just the idea. Let's go down to to 4th Avenue to the Peep Show."
Please give all your attention to Early Access.
And this week on Peep Show, we have a game that we met the developer for.
We met the game.
MagFest. We met the game, yes. At MagFest last year, and that is Pixel Noir by Sword Tech Games, SWD Tech Games. This is a, how do I put it? It's a JRPG styled game with point and click elements in it. Except you're not pointing and clicking, you're using the WASD or the arrow keys. And by the way, before we continue on, you can click the link in the description or in the chat for the live show. Go to the Kickstarter page and download the demo.
And back while you're there.
Yeah, and back. I mean, they're almost to $50,000 of their $30,000 goal. And Pixel Noir is a riveting sort of mystery. You play as a detective in this sort of futuristic dystopian world, and you have to do stuff that a detective does. And
you have to do stuff.
It's a turn-based combat game, but instead of pointing and clicking around, which I guess can get boring, you're actually completely in control of your character outside of combat.
Mm-hmm. Which turn-based combat. I like the combination of different so gameplay mechanics. Is you got the turn-based,
so awesome.
You have the turn-based combat, and it's not even like the boring kind from Final Fantasy. And I know I'm going to get shit from that, but it's not even like that. It
gets boring quick.
Because there's like
fighting gets boring quick.
Yeah, there's a little bit of real-time aspect to the fighting.
Yeah.
The other thing that's cool is that there's like an investigation mode that you can go into. Mm-hmm. So there's like that investigation. What game am I thinking of?
Shit.
Crap.
I can't. Yeah.
But anyway,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Kind of like it's not an indie game. It's Murdered something. Sole Suspect, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, So it's just cool that you have that, like, these different mechanics in there. It just kind of brings it all, and it's not disjointed. It works well together. And we played it back when it was like early on. There were like bugs and stuff like that, and even with the bugs,
it was fun.
It's still plenty of fun.
Yeah, and like the one word that I always that I got from this game when playing it is, and I know this sounds like a dumb like I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna write buzzwords. Is genuine. Like having met I feel really bad because I can't remember the guy's name. I see his face perfectly. He's a tall guy with blonde hair. Having met one of the devs for this game, he might be the only dev.
No, there's other one.
There's like one more. Having met him and having talked to him and having an interview with him, and then playing this game, I really get a sense of like how his mind works, and like through the writing and through how the game plays, and it just feels really human. And some games and also like movies nowadays are so grandiose, and you sort of look up to them as being like more than human, and that's sort of what you look up to. But this game just felt so, or at least the demo that we played, just felt so real and so, alive and like, I guess, conscious and human.
13 people, by the way.
What's that?
13 people.
13? What?
Yeah. We only met the guy's name.
13 people. Oh,
the
yeah.
guy's name that you're talking about is the creative director. His name is Len Stewart.
Yeah, we met Len. Yeah.
But there's 13 different people, yeah.
But it's so like this game, the people in this game feel like real people. And what's weird is that I was thinking about back to another game that I really liked in a similar sort of style, Techno Babylon, which is the point and click futuristic adventure game where you have to solve puzzles and stuff. And those characters felt real, but those characters felt real because it felt more like a movie. And these characters feel real because I feel like I've met these characters before.
Right.
It's something familiar. It's something genuine about.
You get attached to the main character pretty quickly.
You do. It's like it's instant, and the writing is really good, but it's not too fancy. I guess that's something that really draws me in. Like I like books and writing and games that are real and not too overly dramatized, but also have those like little bits of things that you might think in your mind but you never say out loud, and that sort of comes out and you really get into it and you really feel it.
One other thing too is the whole point of it is that you're like hallucinating, so it's hard to tell what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
And you kind of start to feel for him because he's just like going through this whole thing and he's got like is pretty much getting dealt a shit hand during this whole time.
Yeah.
And Dufreak pointed this out in the chat, and I was looking on the Kickstarter. They recently are doing a Pixel Noir Shovel Knight crossover.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I've not heard about that until now, and it's pretty cool. Now,
I'm actually looking into that right now. Yacht Club Games are working with us.
There's not a whole lot of info yet because they're not allowed to talk about it. It's just they announced the crossover.
Yeah, exactly. Which is awesome.
You mentioned the $50,000. They were only looking for 30, so they've already gone by that. And so now you're looking for stretch goals, and you got 4 days left to do it at the time of this recording.
Yeah,
so
what's crazy is that they ran a Kickstarter in May of last year that only raised $36,000. They were looking for $97,000, but they only have 100 more backers now than they did back then, and they've already raised more money than they would have gotten the last time, which is amazing. And
that's how it usually works.
Exactly.
If your game is good.
Jay Tholen did that, and it worked. And not only that, but this thing got a Kickstarter staff pick.
Oh yeah,
look at that. But it's also coming. It's not only coming out on PC, Mac, and Linux. It's also they're going to be releasing it for PS4, PlayStation Vita, and Xbox One. Which to me, I think it costs like $10,000 to get your game on those things.
Is it
right?
You mean all together?
No, each. Doesn't
no, I thought it was only
Xbox,
a couple $1,000s.
No, I thought Xbox charged you like $10,000.
$10,000? No, I'm pretty sure it was like $2,500.
Okay, well if it's $2,500, that's even better.
$10,000.
But I feel like
insane.
A big chunk of this is them being like, we wanted to get on these systems, give us some money so you can play it. And to be fair, we played this at MagFest. We played it on controllers. if I'm not mistaken. And we played it on old CRT TVs, which was
That
really
was cool. Yeah.
And like these guys set up booths like no other.
I don't,
that
I don't
was
know
one
if
of the
we did do it
coolest
on
booths.
controllers, but anyway.
I'm almost positive we did.
Did we?
But playing it on a keyboard, I can see the controller inspired nature of it. And I know we're giving this game a lot of praise. My one complaint, just so you guys know, like I am wearing the T-shirt. I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
No,
but I've been wearing the T-shirt the whole review. Oh yeah. Okay. Here's the shirt.
You gotta
Pixel
stand
Noir
up a
shirt.
little bit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There you go.
Hold on. Yeah, you can kind of see it.
I'll go back to the game.
He gave us these shirts, which is great. We didn't really ask for them. He gave it to him. He gave us to him, and it's one of my favorite shirts. But the one thing that I've complained about this game, at least with the demo, is that the menu is a little bit hard to understand because to get to the menu, you either hit enter or escape.
But that's something
which is
like
cool.
the UI and all that sort of stuff and menus. That usually takes a back seat until the end of.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
but here's the thing: if you hit
process.
enter again, because in my mind you're like, okay, select something, hit enter. But enter is like it makes sense that enter would take you out of that menu. But in my head, if I hit enter and I'm in the menu, I want to hit enter to do it to select something, but I have to hit E to do that, which makes sense too because that's like what's happening in the game. It's just a little bit confusing. That's literally the only problem that I had with this game. One of the great artistic choices too, I might add, with the demo, when you're inside like a room or in a room inside of a building, when you start to walk into the next room, it slowly like sort of fades in so you can see like some stuff in the room, and then once you finally get in, all the detail comes to life. And it's just a little artistic choices that they made that just make me feel just really, really good and make me feel like really connected to the universe.
A couple other things just to kind of give you an idea of what their money is going to. Where is it? There we go. The majority of it, 26%, is going to art and artistic assets. 20% is going to the rewards that they're offering. 17.3% going to coding, which I'm assuming is like just paying for people to do that. Let's see, 12.6% to Kickstarter and PayPal fees. 10% to the writer, and 9.3% to QA. So bug testing, bug bashing,
and it's awesome that they have that selected because not many games do that. And this game is
at least
is
we
one
know
of
it's
those-
getting tested well.
Yeah, exactly.
4.8% to the software licenses and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly. Also for stretch goals, they currently have already unlocked the Xbox One port, New Game Plus, CRD Tech mini game, an expanded story for level 1, which unlocked a whole new area for the game. Story level 2 unlocked a whole new level. They've unlocked comic cutscenes, short motion comic cutscenes to add more flavor. And when they reach $50,000, and hopefully they will, you can play this game on the Nintendo 3DS. Isn't that awesome? Like, and if they reach $60,000 in 4 days, which might not happen, you can play it on mobile.
That'd be interesting.
I'd play this fucking game
that'd
on
be
mobile.
Interesting.
Fuck yeah, I'd play this
Well,
game.
I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. I can't imagine it being on mobile. But anyway, you can get anything as far as rewards goes. $1, you get a Kickstarter backer avatar for $1. For $50, you get a digital copy of the Pixel Noir art book and everything above that, which obviously at that point you're probably getting the game as well. Let's see, $150, you get to design your very own NPC. That's always cool.
I'd do that. If I had $150 laying around, I'd totally give it to him.
$500, you get.
Is there any way you can get a T-shirt? I'm sorry, I didn't.
I'm not going through everything, but you can look yourself, you lazy bastard. Design a unique area for $500 and three NPCs that will be unique to your area.
All right, I will say this: $35 get you a T-shirt. If it's this T-shirt, how are they fucking making any money on this game? This is serious. Like, okay, I'm not paid to say this. They literally gave us these T-shirts. We didn't even ask. We had an interview with them. We haven't talked to them since. And this is the T-shirt that I go to on a regular basis, just because it's a really fucking comfortable T-shirt.
Actually, I think Kunal. I see someone popped in the chat. Kunal. I think that is one of the three main developers of this game.
Oh, that's
out
really
of the
cool.
13. So
You guys
hello,
make really
Kunal,
good
if that is you.
t-shirts.
Yeah, we're just right now we're gushing about the game.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's see. Oh, 1,000, and that gets you. You get to choose a default name for the detective, and you get a physical ID card. And then all the way up to the most expensive 5,000. If you are rolling in money, you get to go party with the team behind Pixel Noir. They actually fly you out, get you a hotel suite, and you get to have a party with them. And you get everything above except for the physical name badge tier. That's the only one that you wouldn't get. So actually, the name badge one's already gone. So screw you guys. so is the design in the unique area. So
and you know what's crazy is that there's so much awesome stuff about this game that we haven't even talked about how good it looks.
Yeah.
Like it's this sort of like isometric, third person pixel graphics, but it's got this like style and this look to it that I haven't really seen. Like yeah, it's dark and yeah, it's gritty and yeah, it's real, but there's this like cartoony element to it that just sort of plays into the sort of like craziness and ridiculousness that happens in this game. Yeah. So
before we move on, I just want to point out one other thing too, is that they put a little love note to those of you who are interested in the game, and you can read it for yourselves. Go to the Kickstarter page that we linked in the chat, and first of all, back it. And second of all, you read this letter, and you can already tell that they care about their project. They care about what comes out, and you are going to get your money's worth, and you're going to get a fun game. So, be encouraged to go back based on that. And Kunal in chat there, I'm sure will be, as most devs are, not to put them on the spot, will be willing to answer questions and. Sway you to the side of Sword Tech.
Yeah. So you got 4 days to go on the Kickstarter. If you guys are listening at home in the recorded version, it might already be done. But that means that Pixel Noir got funded, and you can look forward to a game coming out relatively soon. And you can always still download the demo if you check out the link in the description. I highly recommend it. This game is fun. This game is beautiful. This game is awesome. And I'm so excited that something has happened since MagFest, because we talked about it at MagFest. We didn't really hear a whole lot, and then IRX comes up. They get an honorable mention at IRX, and then they're here right now, and it's just, I'm excited. I can't wait.
And Kunal, give Len a I don't know, a high five or something from us. Because he was great to interview, and
he was.
He did very well in speaking.
He's really good at marketing your game, because we still remember it a year later.
Yeah, we did. You know what will save you money, so that way you can back Pixel Noir.
Wait.
You're playing. There's the T-shirt. There you go.
Pixel Noir T-shirt. I have a feeling there aren't very many of these out there. What's that? Save some money so you can back Pixel Noir?
Yeah, you can save some money to back Pixel Noir by playing free games, which is coming up next. Free fun. All right, everyone. This week for free fun, we're talking about a game that is actually made in RPG Maker, but it is on Steam. So it's another. We've been fun. There's been a rash of games on Steam that have really hit it big for free games. I mean, it used to be only free to play, and now there's a bunch of like actual free games to play. But this one's called Close Your Eyes. Get some gameplay footage up there. By Yai Gameworks on Steam. There's no actual website, so nothing I can link you to. It's just, except for the Steam site, I guess. You could actually do that. Let me do that for this stream here. There you go. So, through a stroke of sheer luck, you've managed to escape death row. Taking to an underground subway, you must try to find your salvation. Can you break free of the past that binds you? And please, can you close your eyes? Just close them. That's the description on their Steam page.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that's pretty unsettling. Like, the last sentence when I read it, I was like, oh, God.
That's like someone going to you, shh.
Only dreams now.
Quiet. That's that kind of feeling. So if you're into the RPG Maker games, this is apparently a very, very good one. I mean,
and it's all original art too. It's not using like the standard RPG Maker packs. Like it's all like hand drawn art, and yeah.
84% of the 231 reviews on Steam are positive. So I mean when you're talking about RPG Maker games anyway, people are very, very picky about those. There's like a handful of games that are considered well done for RPG Maker games. There's some that are like even good enough to be paid for. Like To the Moon was one of them. But like out of all, especially the free games, and so something to be said there. Again, this is a somewhat disturbing horror version of an RPG Maker game. So there's that. So, oh, by the way, I'm just reading through their Steam page, and in the About section it says, "How y'all doing?" Now the name of the game is to answer "Trust Yourself." Do you trust yourself? There's no right and wrong. Everyone's a winner or a loser, depending on how you think about it. Life is all about perception, you see. On to the first question. You're a murderer. We all know it. But do you think you are? And then it gives you answers. I'm a murderer. I'm a murderer. I'm a murderer. Or I'm a murderer.
Yeah.
So apparently,
and those
you're
are
a
options that you can pick in game too. Like there's actually a clip in their trailer with it.
Yeah, and it was actually started for 2014 Ludum Dare, and the RPG Maker horror game, the whole thing that we've mentioned. So of course they reworked it and made a full-fledged game that is free on Steam. And there's traps, puzzles, questionnaires that will make you think about your own morals and you as a person.
And the crazy thing too is that they sort of break the fourth wall a lot in like sort of the advertisement.
In horror games it works though.
But it works so well because they don't do it in like a really cheesy way. They don't do it in a cheesy way. They do it in like a, hey, you're this character because you're playing this game. Why wouldn't you be this character? I'm going to talk to you like you're actually this character.
Yeah.
And
it throws you off. So
and it's also really unsettling.
Yeah.
Like it adds to the atmosphere. Even not even just playing it, just reading the Steam page, you're like, okay, cool, yeah, I get it. I'm scared. All right.
It does actually have voice work in it, and it's all original artwork and music, as like you said. And it also has multiple endings and secrets. So it's very replayable if you're into that.
And it's free.
You can actually buy the goodie bag for Close Your Eyes for $2, $1.99. So it's like considered DLC. I'm not exactly sure what you get for that, to be honest. Here, let me see if I can see what that is. Goodie bag includes bonus Girls Graveyard minigame storyline. It's 1 to 2 hours of its own unique arcade-like gameplay. You get an artwork collection and some additional concept sketches, and you get the original soundtrack for $2. And I think actually, personally, that's worth it because the game's free. So I mean, you're just supporting the dev that way to continue making games.
Yeah.
Right. So, Close Your Eyes, free on Steam. Go play it. It is only Windows. Sorry, Mac and Linux users, but oh well.
You can also get the Close Your Eyes goodie bag.
I just covered that. Are you serious?
No.
Literally just covered that.
I wish I wasn't serious. I zoned out.
Well, this is the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Never mind.
All good things must come to an end. And I hope everyone feel free to spam at Tekado_ with You're an Idiot.
Yeah.
And his email as well, Tekado@IndieGameRiot.com. Do that as well. Spam him.
Yeah.
And end of the show. If you enjoy what we are doing, you want to help us grow the show, improve the show and the website, and help us help the indie game community, please consider going to Patreon. Patreon.com/Indie Game Riot. And you can donate $1 or more per month, and it really helps us and supports us continue making the content for you. So thank you so much for your consideration. And of course, we also accept any kind of tips. If you know a game, if you know if there's any kind of news revolving indie games, someone that needs to be on for an interview in your opinion, please let us know. You can contact us a bunch of different ways. First of all, we are on hitbox.tv/JaShinYa every Friday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can come into that and chat with us and let us know that way. Twitter @IGR Podcast or Facebook.com/IGR Podcast.
Or if you're watching the video, you can see all of our Twitter handles on the screen.
Of course. And then lastly, you can also go to IndieGameRiot.com with our email that will be listed there, which is contact@IndieGameRiot.com.
Yes.
Any last words?
This turned into NPR.
Take it up. Well, my
Yeah.
voice is actually starting to go. I don't know
Oh
what's
yeah.
up. Yeah.
I don't know. I've been drinking.
Well, my voice, I don't know. My voice hurts. I don't know what
It's
it
late
is.
for you, man.
That too,
You're a busy man.
I guess. Is that your last words?
That is.
All right. Well,
At this point in the show, because Rev isn't
fuck
here,
you,
he would
Rev.
be
That's
like-
my last
He
word.
would be like, "Have a good one, folks."
Thank
See you
Say
next time,
goodbye.
guys. Have a good one, folks.